Okay, Monday, January 20th, 2025, Brussels, Belgium. So we arrived on Saturday night and today is Monday. So it's been almost 36 hours since we've been here. Have a little time to reflect. It feels like, I don't know, there's a lot of stress, a lot of things to do, but the things are getting done. So I got myself a Belgian SIM card. We got ourselves registered at the commune. You have to go and register when you arrive here. And every section of Belgium or Brussels has their own office. So if you move, it's like moving between two places in New York. Like if you move from Manhattan to Bronx, you'd have to go to some office and register yourself. It's just ridiculous here. It's part of the reason why Europe is in swift decline. You know, they just can't let go of the past. They don't do evolution, they do tradition. But anyway, so, and then I got an apartment viewing tomorrow, and that's another tricky game here because half of the ads are scams and people want deposits without looking at things, and they have phone numbers like in the Netherlands and all this. It's it's just a lot to do, but I mean we're getting through it, and we're staying in an area called Schaerbeek or Schaerbeek. I don't know what it is. It's 1030. I'm not going to learn French, and I'm not. The Dutch I can kind of understand from the Norwegian language, but I think we'll do our 6 to 12 months here, however long my daughter's peanut allergy treatment takes, and then we're going to head to the U.S. That's where we stand right now. The taxes here are like really high, and the water is supposed to be drinkable, but I have a water tester, and you still have to filter the water here, just like in Ukraine. So now you're paying a ton of money, and you're still not getting anything. So in Ukraine, we don't pay any money and we don't get anything. Now you're here, you pay a lot of money and you still don't get it. I mean, we get electricity, but it costs a lot of money here, I guess, because of Germany. And, so we'll see. We're going to try to be positive, and we're getting through this one day at a time. I guess it's the initial shock. Now, I can say I have a lot to compare with. Like when I was in Sweden, I was in Norway, I was in Estonia. It was a much, much simpler process. You just register in one office for the whole country. Every time you change postcode, you don't need to change your registration. I mean, this is like and they didn't speak English, but luckily they had a person specially there to handle Ukrainians, and so she spoke Ukrainian and Russian. They had one lady there who was allowed. They said, and she said if she would have spoken English, she'd get a fine. So yeah, but this is these are the people that are supposed to be protecting Ukraine. Trump wants Europe to protect Ukraine. Now I can understand why Zelensky says there can't be any security agreement without America. I mean, if this kind of small stuff is so complicated, no wonder why they can't they can't do major military maneuvers and everything without U.S. leadership. And what I understand too about here in Brussels is you have like a French side of the government, a Dutch side of the government, and it's basically 50-50, and they can't compromise, and so the government has been hung for the last couple of years, and everything is run by these communes, so they don't really have and this is the capital of Europe, and as Rudolph said so succinctly, the holiday from reality is over. The holiday from history, I should say. The holiday from history is over. Europe is back at war, and all these guys are like trying to find ways to bureaucracy each other. It's just yeah. Now, I mean, there's a lot of pretty and old buildings and stuff, but when you have a kid, you can see around me here all these nice architecture, very eclectic. Some are modern. They do tear down some of the old buildings and build new ones selectively. Maybe I'll go back the other way and show you. We're actually looking for an apartment in one of these buildings here. So they do selectively allow some tear down and building new ones. And then we'll go to City Hall. then we can go to City Hall where we signed up. But so there is some pragmatism here, but these buildings are not easy when you have a kid. You know, the corridors are very narrow and you can't get the strollers up and down. And, you know, maybe this is just me being American or whatever, but, you know, I think we have a lot to say. You know, we are defending these people, you know, you know, so we should have some say, you know, and, you know, whatever, ungrateful tourists or whatever, paying the taxes, so have a right to an opinion, right? If we're paying for the stuff here and paying our way here, we have a say in what goes on. This is one of other Europe's problem, like, oh, the native Belgians or the native Dutch or whatever, they can say stuff, but the people who came here as immigrants, even though they pay taxes and own a house or something, they don't have a right to an opinion. Come on, you know. They need to be more American that way. You know, all citizens are equal, you know, or you know, all people, taxpayers are, well, I would say citizens are the differentiator, you know, but I think if you're a taxpayer and resident, you can vote in local elections, and then if you're a full citizen, you can vote in the national elections. But yeah, so it's complicated here. So it might take like a month for me to get a tax ID number. I have to figure this one out. You know, I'm gonna get this apartment lease agreement and everything, and I think with that, then we can register in a different district, because the apartment I'm looking at is in the financial district near the World Trade Center, and that's near all the train stations, centrally located. If this ad is not fake and this apartment is the real deal, I think we'll take it, and then you can go 3 months at a time. It's like a corporate rental, and I think that'll suit us, because we don't know what our long-term plans are here yet. But I'm kind of leaning on going back to the US, because I think within a year's time the Trump train will be rolling and it won't be so bad as people think with all the layoffs and all of this. The economy is still very strong there and technology is moving ahead, and you know, maybe there'll be better policing, and you know, some of these rundown areas will start coming up because of the security situation. As I said, I don't think there's a housing shortage in America. There's a safe housing shortage. You know, that's the shortage in America, to find a safe place to live. You know, and if you want a safe place to live, you're going to pay $500,000. But there's a lot of houses actually for 100, 200 grand. But you're liable to get, you can get shot. You know, so yeah. Let me flip the camera around. Yeah, you can see this is the City Hall building here in the Schaerbeek. This is where we had to go, you know, and yeah, this, like I said, this is definitely Europe. I mean, it looks like a Disney Village, you know, it looks a little bit like Disney Village here, but yeah, it's all very interesting, you know, if you're interested in this stuff, you know, but yeah, so that's been our experience here. I guess, yeah, in retrospect, we got a lot done, considering we came on a Saturday night. We weren't even here on a working day, and we managed to get several of our tasks done. Also, our logistics arrived. So we use, you know, there's like, I want to tell you this, there's like Federal Express, right? They can get you their stuff their next working day, but it costs hundreds of dollars. And then there's this thing called Ukrainian Express, and they come in a marshutka, which is like a Ukrainian word for like a beater, like an old van, you know, the old Soviet Union van. And these guys show up, they take your boxes. It's all cash, no receipts, pure trust. The only thing I got was a snapshot of the license plate number, and we were in Warsaw. Yeah, we gave them the boxes on Friday in Warsaw. And then we got here Saturday, 8 p.m. at night. And the next morning on Sunday, the boxes were there. And he would have come Saturday night if we wanted him to, but we just told him to get some sleep and everything. I mean, but he was already in town Saturday night. But basically, I got everything Sunday morning. So, you know, there's, like I said, there's FedEx, there's UPS, and then there's this like Ukrainian Express. And I sent, let's see, 5 boxes, a stroller, and a car seat. So I think altogether that was like 70 kilos. 70 kilos for around yeah, 250 euros. No, it was more than that. It was like 80, yeah. So it was like 2 to 3 euros per kilo, which maybe less. I think it was more like 2 because I'm forgetting the weight of one of the boxes. But we sent a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think it was over 100 kilos actually. Now I think about the car seat and the stroller. That's pretty heavy and takes a lot of volume. So we got all that over here for like 250 euros, $250. You know, I mean, if you want to send a FedEx envelope with like a couple documents in it, you're looking at like 40, 50 euros to get it to go that fast, to like have it delivered on Friday afternoon. They came picked up door to door. This is door to door too. I didn't have to go to any logistics center. This came right on my doorstep, and the guy even brought everything up the steps. And they came and took everything, you know, like I'm talking literally like real door to door. The Ukrainian Express. So yeah, they picked it up Friday and everything was there Sunday morning, you know. So like if you were to do a FedEx envelope, you know, that fast in Europe, like pick up Friday night and have it on your desk, the earliest they could do is Monday morning. They don't work weekends. You'd probably just pay, like I say, 40, 50 euros just for an envelope. And this was like all our stuff we need to run our apartment, to run our lives, you know, with the baby. So yeah, that was cool. That was really cool, using the Ukrainian Express. You know, like I said, they don't really advertise. I guess you just have to know people. You just ask around your local Ukrainians and they'll find someone with a van. There's always like two Ukrainian dudes in a van or something, and they will squeeze it in there. Yeah. So I have to say that was yeah, that was just the neatest thing I'd ever seen. You know, it's like this Hawala networks, where, you know, where you go to, you know, the Arabs have, where you go to the barber shop and you want to send money to your relatives back in Pakistan or, you know, back in Egypt or someplace, and they just, the barber takes the money and somehow it gets to your relatives over there through another barber shop, you know. So yeah, this is the city hall. This is where you go and register yourself, and yeah, you got to speak French or bring a French speaker with you or something, you know. So yeah, this is Europe, you know. I guess the guys are writing fines and everything, you know. So yeah, this is what's going on, you know. But yeah, this is the city hall, the Schaerbeek or something, whatever it is, you know. They can have it, you know. We're just passing through, you know. Yeah, so that's my reflection in Brussels. You know, Trump is getting inaugurated today. Maybe that'll push Europe together. They get rid of all this bureaucracy and languages, and, you know, they need to start working together. I read some comments somewhere that the USSR wanted everyone to speak Russian, but this is different. This is very different. The situation demands it, you know, military interoperability, you know, that Belgian soldiers can interoperate with Italian soldiers and work with you know, Bulgarian Air Force, you know, and call in airstrikes. I mean, the situation, you know, we are coming back from that vacation with history. The situation demands interoperability. So, I mean, everyone can have their local languages, but English has to be like like the European standard, and also the airplane industry demands it. I would imagine the medical industry should work in English, because all the conferences, all the, you know, research is coming out mostly in English language. All the papers are written in English. So all the stuff that advances humankind is done in English, and it's just, you know, these people who want to preserve their history and stuff, that's something they can do, but that has to be done locally. You know, like for example, when I'm immigrating over here, you know, with a wife and a kid, and, you know, I'm, you know, a solid earner, you know, working in an IT sector, I don't think I should have this French and Dutch stuff impressed on me, when it's quite obvious that English is international language, and this is like a capital of Europe, you know. But this is the mentality. This is why Zelensky wants America as part of the security agreement. Now, But Trump is like saying this is Europe's thing, you know, Ukraine belongs to Europe and Europe has to take lead. But now I understand why they can't. They can't think in a practical way. They're stuck in this history while the future is closing in on them. And the future is like these jerk-off nations like China, Russia, Iran. You know, I mean, you've got India just playing neutral, which helps. You know, the neutral card always helps whoever, you know, helps both sides, right? But it helps, I think, the weaker side more than the stronger side. I mean, so by Russia having India as a partner and everything, it empowers them more than it like helps America, let's say, you know, because America is already so big. So yeah, they have to, something has to change, but will it? No, I don't think so. You know, I think this decline, demographic decline, is just going to keep going, and everything is going to keep going. You know, the lack of innovation, you know, the exiting of industry. You know, it's hard to have factories here when you don't have, you know, young workforce. And they have all these immigrants here, and you know, I've seen a lot of immigrants. You know, it's like America. You know, it's like, but in America they're doing something, you know, and they're becoming rich and working and all this, you know. And here they're unable to integrate them because in Europe the nationalism is different. Like in America, the nationalism is like you're American if you got the American passport, you got yourself a job, you know, you love your country. Doesn't matter where you're from. Like Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, he is American just as much as J.D. Vance, you know, or, you know, whatever, Tim Scott, you know. Your identity comes from your passport and from, you know, that you resided there and paid taxes there. And here it's like an ethnic thing, like, oh, you know, like genetics or whatever, and language. And so if you're an outsider, you're always an outsider. Even if you live here 30 years, you're still a Moroccan, paying the taxes, speaking the language, even serving the army. You're still like wherever you are from first. And this mindset has to change. You know, this mindset really has to change here in Europe. You know, but it won't. This is how they're going to go on, and it's going to, I think the next 20 years it's going to be real punishing here. You know, it's going to be a lot of talent. I know one guy from Sweden. He was Iranian from Sweden, and now he's the CEO of Databricks. You know, Sweden couldn't give him anything. You know, and he spoke Swedish, he did everything there, and he went to California and built a multi-million-dollar company. So all these like immigrant kids who are really smart here, they're going to get scholarships at Berkeley and Stanford and build their company in America and become Americans. You know, I've already seen that with my own eyes with someone I know. You know, a guy's a billionaire, you know, and he's in California, in America. You know, and he's never coming back. He's too busy. You know, so this is what Europe is up against. They're competing with America. They're competing with Asia, and you know, they're want to embrace wokeness and preserve history. They're going to pay for it. You know, it's just slowly by slowly. And all these like smart foreign kids here, they're going to the U.S. probably to study, or going to Asia to study. You know, so that's the way it is. But anyway, that's all I got. I will check in more often as, you know, this as this experience develops. Take care. Bye-bye.